Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
First, it was a homosexual columnist and activist admitting, "We want to indoctrinate your children." Now, the Department of Health and Human Services is admitting that they are recruiting homosexuals to adopt children. Hi, I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action and Associate Dean with Liberty University School of Law, in for Matt Staver today. Joining me in studio is Deryl Edwards, a director with the law school and president of Liberty Counsel Action. Deryl, our friends over at cnsnews.com, that's a news division of the Media Research Center in Alexandria, Virginia, they have reported that David Hansel, who runs the federal government's Administration for Children and Families, recently told a group of high school students at the U.S. Department of Education's, quote, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT youth summit, that the administration is going out and actively recruiting homosexual, quote, LGBT parents, that's parents or adults involved in the homosexual lifestyle, to adopt children. They've taken the mask completely off now. We have said for years that homosexual activists not only want, full affirmation and recognition of their lifestyle, they want full celebration of their lifestyle, and they understand that in order to further their agenda, since they biologically cannot reproduce, they have to go out and recruit the next generation of supporters through various propagandist means. What a great way for the Obama administration, which is very supportive of the homosexual activist agenda, to aid and abet them by helping make it easier for them to go out and adopt kids to indoctrinate in these households. We have a long line of moms and dads waiting in line to adopt children. This misnomer that somehow LGBT people are stepping in to fill a gap where married couples and natural male-female couples are absent. That's simply not true. We have long lines. So clearly, the goal here is to make it easier for homosexual duos to adopt children and raise them in these unnatural environments where they are modeling unnatural and destructive behavior.
Exactly. And let's back this up a little bit and look at the context of the situation and understand that elections have consequences, as people said. This is by her own admission, and Kathleen Sebelius, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, also spoke at the event, and one of her first words were, "This is the first ever federal LGBT youth summit." Had not happened before, but once we put in President Obama, these are the type of people he puts in place. And David Hansel, he's a former director at the Gay Men's Health Crisis. And when you put in people who believe what they believe, these are the kind of actions they're going to carry out. And so those who voted back in 2008 and said, well, we want hope and change, this is the kind of change they got, and there's not a lot of hope here.
Well, we had previously reported on Faith and Freedom that a homosexual columnist named Daniel Villarreal was criticized, really just lambasted by his homosexual activist community and fellow homosexual activists when he wrote a posting on a popular homosexual news site, news magazine, and said, quote, "We want educators to teach future generations of children to accept queer sexuality. In fact, our very future depends on it. That's what it's all about here." He says, quote, "Why would we push anti-bullying programs or social studies classes that teach kids about historical contributions of famous queers unless we wanted to deliberately educate children to accept queer sexuality as normal. He said, quote, "I and a lot of other people want to indoctrinate, recruit, teach, and expose children to queer sexuality." Think about that. Recruit, teach, and expose children to queer sexuality, and there's nothing wrong with that, he wrote. Here we have the Department of Health and Human Services in his quote. The gentleman, Mr. Hansel, said, "Of course, we're also trying to recruit more foster and adoptive parents who are lesbian and gay." So they're hitting them in the schools. They're hitting them in the adoption industry to try to get these kids in these households with people modeling this bad behavior. This is all part of the homosexual activist agenda. And as we have often said, the Obama administration is fully on board.
I thought the most ironic quote that Mr. Hansel said was, "All children deserve being in stable homes, loving in stable homes." And I thought how wrong that is. All families who are capable of providing them should be encouraged and helped to do so, regardless of whether they have two moms or two dads. And most people would think that is, the definition of instability right there.
Well, the homosexual lobby puts out these photographs, this propagandist photograph. You'll see oftentimes, perhaps, two men sitting there holding, oftentimes they're minority children, because I guess it's easier to adopt, or these minority children. So you'll see these two men with these 2 or 3 little kids, little props on their lap, and they'll put this out there as this material to show what a loving and kind environment it is. But I know my reaction is just my heart breaks for those children who are denied a mother, where these lesbian duos get together and bring these kids into this environment where they're denied a father. And we know conclusively that the studies have shown over and over again, and common sense in our past experiences show us that kids need a mom and a dad. It's not always possible. There are single-family homes, but they need a mom and a dad. They gain certain things from mom. They gain certain things from dad. This is how God designed it. And if you want to put aside religion, put aside morality, this is biologically correct. You can be politically correct till you're blue in the face. I'm going to be biologically correct. Absent a third party's involvement, homosexual couples cannot have children. They cannot reproduce, despite that they can say, the parents of some child, a man and a man, but they're not the parents of. There's that third party who's missing, mom.
Well, just a couple of other tidbits from the conference that show your tax dollars hard at work. Literature that was distributed included the magazine called Sex, Etc., and these are to teenage kids, distributed by the government, and also an HHS sexual identity study on students in grades 9 through 12. These were also distributed to the young people. And by the way, reporters were barred from attending any of the sessions. So this was all done behind closed doors as part of the Obama transparency movement, I suppose.
Well, hey, that's how you get this kind of propaganda in the minds of children. They know, they understand, the left understands that the children are the future, and that they have to re-educate kids to put aside their natural reactions and natural innate understanding of what is a family, of what is mom and dad, what is marriage. They have to re-educate that out of them in order to further their postmodern sexual anarchy. This notion that, there is really no male or female. Sexuality is fluid and androgynous, and we're all just kind of big one happy human family. You can be male, you can be female, you can be whatever you want to be, and you don't need a mom and a dad. There are no gender differences. It's utter hokum.
Well, but the utter hokum is what the government is promoting out there, and they talk about they're using the federal government program, the Adopt US Kids, Adopt Us Kids program, and they even mentioned it on the on their website. They have a page. People can go look it up and see what they're paying for. Resources for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered foster and adoptive families. So we're providing the resources through our tax dollars to make more of this happen.
This is your hard-earned money at work, folks. This should remind us all that elections have consequences. If you want people who are going to get in there and represent you and represent your values, then get out and vote for those individuals. If you're absent, somebody's going to step in and fill that vacuum. We see what happens. There are very real consequences. In this case, an agenda that is contrary to our traditional American values is being pushed, and the government is behind it. To learn about Liberty Counsel, go to lc.org or give us a call at 1-800-671-1776. Learn how you can help do something about it.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.